Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're tying this silver Wilkinson's temple dog style fly. I was tying a couple of doubles recently in this style and thought, let's give this a go. So this is what I've come up with. Hope you like it, and let's get stuck right into it. So kicking off proceedings folks, we've got about 20mm of pink fluoro outer tube and some light blue inner tube in the adapter, and got some white uni 80 just coming in, get some wraps down, joining these two together. As always, getting some super glue down at the connection point, getting some wraps in so that transition between the tubes is nice and smooth. And then folks, when you're ready to do so, bring your thread all the way down to the back, give yourself a good couple of mil at the back for some space, and then we're going to catch in a large silver holographic, and this is going to make up probably about a third to half of the body at this point. Let's say about a third. And then when you're ready to do so, get some super glue down on the tube and then wrap the tinsel over the top of this. So cutting away the excess when you're ready to do so folks, you're then going to come in with effectively a silver dubbing. Use whatever you've got. I've just grabbed some flashabou here, and basically borrowing the sort of thing that you'd see on an intruder type pattern for Canada. Going to build up a little bit of a ball here, and this is what we're going to base all the materials we build up against on. So we want this to help flare the fly out, so keep this nice and stacked on top of each other and build that sort of ball shape. Once you're happy with this, pull away any excess you don't need. Okay folks, and then up next we're going to grab some pink Marabou. Lots of movement in Marabou, great for this sort of fly. I'm going to tie this forward, measure it up how you want, the length you want protruding out the back, tying it forward, and then I'm going to fold everything back, and that will give this a nice flare out and help bulk up the back end of the body. So just work out the length that you want, turn it around, tie it forward, and then you can fold it all back. I'm actually doing this in two portions. You can do it in one if you want and wrap it all the way around, totally up to yourself. Doing it in two or three, you won't harm you at all. Okay folks, up next to catching some flash. This is just some pink angel hair. A couple of strands, catch it on the top, and then going to fold these back down each side. When you're happy with that, you've caught it in, just cut these away to a length that you're happy with. You want a little bit of flash on this, but you don't want it miles behind the Marabou. And once you're happy with your flash folks, going to come in with some Artic fox in a sort of magenta pink. Start to build up that temple dog shape to the body. Want this just a little bit longer than the Marabou at this stage. As always, catch this nice and firm on top, thumbnail across the top to spread the fibre, cut away your excess, and again totally optional, you can super glue down that end. From there you're going to come in with your first hackles. This is a pink hackle, it's actually a dyed silver badger pink. Just catching this in, tip end first, good couple of wraps, and then we'll look to get, I'm going to say 3 to 4 turns of this hackle because you want to start to build this out. And as always, remember to chop away your excess. Okay folks, and when you're happy with your first hackle in place, you've tidied everything up, you're going to come back in with a little bit of the silver flash there, but not a lot, just a tiny little bit. You want that little bit of silver in the middle of the body here, so just 1 or 2 turns as you can see, pull away any excess and you're good to go. From there, I'm going to come in with some white Arctic fox, not as much of the pink, but you want it to be a little bit longer on the pink, so not as much, but longer, starting to build out that teardrop shape. So just measuring it up, catching it on the top, and very similar protocol, catching it in a good few turns, chop away the excess, and if you're inclined to do so, super glue in the end so that it's not going to go anywhere. And once you're done with the white, back in with some more flash. This time it's the glacier blue from Loop, the angel hair. Again, catch it on the top, down each side, folding it back and catching it in. Trying to go over the top with this, I've maybe got a little bit much on, but you know, sometimes that happens. And again, chop this away to a length that suits the fly. At this point, I would say roughly in line with the white Marabou. Thereafter, I'm going to come in with some blue nayat. This is the longest fibre on the fly. So again, combing out any underfur, really important. Catching this on the top, making sure it's the right length for the fly. Chopping away that excess, and definitely would suggest super gluing this fibre in at this stage. Okay folks, once you've got the nayat nice and secured in, the last of the flash, so this is 1 strand of Krinkle flash and 1 strand of blue holographic. Just catching these on the top, same length as the nayat, so nice and long, well caught in, fold them back, and then chop away those excess pieces. You just want a single strand of each flowing nicely into the top length of the fly. And from there folks, going to start to taper back in, so this is some blue Arctic fox. Still an okay length, probably just a little bit shorter than the white, definitely not as long as the nayat. Catching this on the top, again, very similar protocol, catch it in, flatten out the thumbnail, just spreads the whole fibre, gives it that nice shape. Chop away your excess, super glue it in, job done. Okay folks, we're going to transition from outer tube to inner tube. We've got the blue silver badger hackle, catch in by the tip, 2 turns down, 2 turns back up, back down to where you want it to sit, chop away your excess, and then you can start to get your turns in. I certainly put quite a few turns in, totally down to you and personal preference. Just make sure you've tidied up nicely to give yourself a nice smooth transition surface to move between the 2 tubes. Definitely take your scissors down either side of this, it will just help fold the whole thing back. And as always folks, when you're happy with what you've caught in, chop away your excess and tidy up anything residual that's kicking around that you don't want on the fly. It's very much an optional extra, folks. You can put jungle cock on if you want. I went with some Lady Amherst dyed blue just to give it almost a little bit more of a Canada spay look, but certainly a fly little work for Atlantic salmon on its day. Just catching a few of these on all round about the fly, keep them in sections of 2 or 3 just to give it a little bit of bulk. And once you've caught them on, a little bit of a tip, grasp it, unwind everything and then rewind so that you're catching all of the different pieces in with the same turns. It avoids a little bit of bulk at the front end. And then at this point, folks, you can come in nice and tight up against your thread turns and chop away the excess from the Lady Amherst. Last thing I'm going to do is just get some super glue on the thread. I'm not going to whip finish this, folks, just a couple of good turns on top of each other with the super glued thread and then cut away, and the thread won't be going anywhere. It'll have a nice hold to it. Grab whatever you're going to put on the front of this, folks, cone head, turbo disc, whatever. Get some super glue down on the tube and onto those thread turns at the front. Don't be too shy with it, don't flood the place. And then when you're ready to do so, get your cone head bead, whatever it is, and push it nice, hard and firm right up against the materials to lock it in and hold it for 5 to 6 seconds. Then when you're ready to do so, folks, chop the inner tube to about 2mm, melt it down and you're good to go. Well, folks, hope you enjoyed that. Nice little fly to tie. Until next time, like, subscribe, all that sort of good stuff. Hit me up on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, etc. It'll be good to hear from you. Also, if you're not aware, I'm doing a giveaway of the Airflow Switch Pro Reel. I will chuck the thumbnail up in the corner. I will also put the link in the description for this video, so get yourself on that, win yourself a free reel. Until next time, cheers.